Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going a bit deeper than the usual headlines on Cristiano Ronaldo. Truly a global football icon. Our mission here is to really unpack his journey, look at the career strategy, that relentless mindset, and maybe some surprising things too. We're drawing on all the great source material you send us.
Exactly. And it's more than just the goals and the trophies, isn't it? What's really insightful, I think, is understanding how he did it and why. How his career kind of gives us this blueprint for, well, sustained excellence
Mhm.
and how he evolved strategically. There are lessons there, I think, way beyond just football.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that trajectory. It's incredible. So he was born 1985, right? On Madeira, the Portuguese island. Grew up in a pretty modest home, parents, three siblings. The sources really give you a sense of those, well, humble beginnings. But football was clearly the passion, the way out, almost from the start.
Oh, absolutely. Played really young. And it wasn't long, apparently, before that talent, that sort of raw ability started getting noticed.
Right, turning heads.
Yeah. And it's striking how early people saw it. I mean, by 16, he was already being scouted by huge clubs, Manchester United, notably. Which makes you wonder, doesn't it? What combination is that? That innate talent, sure, but also that dedication, even back then, that set him so far apart. It wasn't just skill, it was the drive.
That's such a key point because the sources, they don't just talk about raw talent. It's more about how he worked at it relentlessly. Even as a kid, it wasn't just playing. It was, the extra practice. And then came that huge turning point, 2003, the move to England, Manchester United.
Yeah.
That one decision, moving countries as a teenager, I mean, that just completely reshaped his life, his whole career path.
Totally redefined it. And his time at United, well, that immediately set the tone, didn't it? He won a ton of trophies there. Premier League titles, the Champions League. But what's really fascinating, looking back, is how his game changed during those years. He went from being maybe this flashy winger.
Right, lots of tricks.
Yeah, exactly. To becoming much more direct, more focused on scoring goals. A real evolution.
And that evolution, you could argue, really set him up perfectly for the next big move. Real Madrid, Spain. That's where he just exploded onto the global stage as, well, arguably the best player in the world at that point.
And connecting that to the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't just changing teams, was it? It felt like a strategic step up. He kept pushing his performance levels,
Oh,
almost reinventing himself again. Like at Real Madrid, the sources talk about him becoming a real, almost a penalty box assassin, perfecting heading the ball, one-touch finishes. It was this strategic shift, maybe, that let him keep scoring like crazy, even as, that raw speed naturally started to change a bit over the years.
it definitely worked. The numbers are just, they're kind of hard to believe. Over 450 goals for Real Madrid alone.
Staggering.
And helping them win, what was it, 4 Champions League titles in 9 years. That
Yeah.
consistency at the absolute top, it's incredible.
Almost unheard of. And the journey didn't end there, did it? We saw him keep playing at that elite level. Juventus in Italy.
Then back to Manchester United.
Right, the return. And now, of course, with Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, to maintain that level across so many different leagues, different cultures, adapting his game each time. That shows incredible adaptability.
It really does. But okay, so the trophies, the goals, that's one side. But the sources also really dig into what's driving all that. Ronaldo's mindset, he's described as just incredibly disciplined, laser focused, always working hard. And not just in training, apparently, but in everything, his whole life.
Yeah, you see that commitment reflected in his routine, right? The healthy eating, getting enough sleep, meticulously planned, it sounds like, and the daily workouts, which go way beyond what you'd maybe consider normal team training. It's a whole approach, isn't it? Peak performance in every detail, nothing left to chance.
And there's that quote, it's so powerful, sums it up perfectly. I don't train to be better than anyone else. I train to be better than I was yesterday.
That is, yeah, that's quite a statement. And it makes you think, what is that kind of relentless focus on? Just improving yourself day by day.
Right.
Small gains. Yeah, what does that mean for anyone trying to achieve something difficult in any field, really?
Not just sports.
Not just sports at all. It's about that internal engine, isn't it? That drive to progress, rather than just beating the competition. Did the sources mention specific examples of how he actually did that better than yesterday thing in practice?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It wasn't just showing up for team practice. It was, staying late, working on specific things, like hours spent perfecting his free kicks, apparently, or doing countless drills to get better at heading long after everyone else had gone home. That wasn't the coach telling him. That was just him living that mantra.
Right, that internal drive. And beyond that intense personal ambition, the sources also make a point about his philanthropic side. Giving back, he supports a lot of charities, apparently, made
Yeah.
significant donations to help kids' hospitals.
Yeah, which is striking, isn't it? Someone with that kind of immense personal focus, that drive for individual success, also putting significant energy and money into helping others.
It adds another dimension. It shows maybe a more holistic view of success, where personal achievement and contribution kind of go hand in hand.
Definitely adds a layer to his character. Okay, now for some really interesting bits and pieces. His global influence is just massive. Beyond the pitch, our research found some things I didn't expect. Like, did you know he's one of the most followed people on any social media platform? Over 600 million followers across everything.
600
Yeah,
million.
that's,
Okay.
I mean, that's more than the population of many countries. It's a digital footprint, unlike almost anyone else.
That really puts his global reach into perspective, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's way beyond just being a famous footballer. It's a massive personal brand. And on a more personal level, the sources mentioned his family, too. He's a father of 5, right? 4 sons, 1 daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the kids are already playing football. Maybe carrying on that drive. Who knows?
Yeah, could be. And here's one that really surprised me, just makes him seem more human. Apparently, he used to be scared of flying.
No way.
Yeah, when he was younger, he'd often choose to take boats between cities rather than get on a plane. Imagine that, this global superstar constantly traveling now.
Wow. Having this, like, real aversion to flying early on.
Exactly.
You know, those details are important, though. They kind of break down that huge, larger-than-life image a bit. If you connect it to the bigger picture, it just shows that even these massive icons have, well, relatable quirks, fears they had to overcome, makes the achievements feel even more, I don't know, inspiring somehow.
Yeah, I agree. So wrapping this up, what does this whole deep dive into Ronaldo's life mean for you listening?
I think the big takeaway from the sources isn't just about talent or luck. It's really about how that consistent, strategic self-improvement, powered by this incredible internal drive, how that can lead to amazing success, even if you start with, well, almost nothing. It's that constant push for those little improvements every single day.
Mhm. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about that singular focus Ronaldo has, being better than yesterday. How could that very specific daily commitment to getting better, strategically improving, how could that apply to your own goals? Whether it's, your career, learning something new, personal development, how could focusing on your progress day by day rather than always comparing yourself to others, how powerful could that be for your own success? It's definitely a mindset that goes far beyond the football pitch.